And the Westmen are here. Good morning, gentlemen.
How are you?
Good morning.
Yeah, this is fun. We haven't done an hour like this very much. These guys are Steve Johnson.
Good morning.
Steve Olin.
Hi.
Ken Meyer.
Hi.
And Mitch Underwood.
Yeah.
We can help that. Some of you may have seen these guys around the Bay Area in different places. Maybe last summer at Stern Grove or other places as well. But you all perform a good deal these days, right? I mean,
yes.
There's some people who think that you're the best. I mean, they may be misguided, but
Thanks, Mother.
Let me ask you the same question I asked the other folks who were just here. Presumably, in the content, you are a gospel quartet, right?
Right.
You describe yourselves as a gospel quartet. Presumably, then, what you're singing about is every bit as important as having fun with the music. How do you describe what it is you're singing about? What do you want the impact to be? What comes out of that content that you'd like people to remember?
Mitchell, you put it well a couple times. I think what Mitchell has, I think, expressed it the best, that the nice thing, the neat thing about gospel music, the reason we started singing it for ourselves as a quartet, just to assist the music program in our own church, is that gospel music is the only music around that's life-changing. And you can have an impact not only on your own life, but on the lives of others in your church or in the churches around you, the community. You don't necessarily need, and we don't necessarily always sing in churches.
What does life-changing mean?
Well,
changing life how?
In what directions you're heading, the goals, the purposes that you have in life, the way you look at other people, your opinion and your beliefs in God, and whether you feel, whether you've been leading a life as a loner or come to know the Lord as your personal Savior. That's what our music is aimed at, is to reach out into the community, the people, and show them that we do have a good time singing. You have to have a good time doing what you're doing, or it won't come across at all to the people. And that's why we've been singing together for so long.
How long?
7 years now.
Yeah? How did it begin?
Well,
you said you're all part of the same church. Is that where it started, or?
Pretty much. We started singing just as a good time. We all enjoyed music, and we just want to get together and really share the music that we had, and really, project it and relate the message of the songs, being the central figure, being Christ. And we decided to get together and start singing, and it just started to develop that way. We enjoyed it, and we got together weekly, and as it progressed, people began to hear us, and they'd, it really was word of mouth. They'd say, come on over to our church, we'd like to have you in our church to sing. And that's basically the way the thing really got off the ground.
And that's why it's still going on, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's still got those roots that you...
Pretty much, yes.
There's a lot of questions about gospel music in general. You've probably paid a lot of attention to the big-time commercial gospel scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you make of that? And I ask that because several times here, when gospel music has gotten to be a topic of conversation, one of the problems that people have is that with what some people see as the inconsistency of having this huge business, I mean, multi-million-dollar business, and people making a lot of money on, quote, Christian music. And there are folks around who have a hard time with that. And see it as somewhat inconsistent, that with the values of Christ and this particular teacher and way of life and all, that there would also be this incredible business that would come along with it. How do you respond to that?
I think that the Christian music, per se, or gospel music, needs to be supported as well as any other kind of music, As far as the money being made in it, I suppose there's a lot of money being made, but I think we should support Christian.
And if the support means that the people are going to make a lot of money, that's all right.
Yeah. It depends on who you're talking about making a lot of money. I don't know.
It's not so much the money that's made, it's how it's spent when it's made. We have noticed it's been difficult for us. The quartet has been growing, as you have commented, quickly, especially in the last couple of years, for many reasons, guidance from the Lord and the directions we've been going, and the least of which has been the silent one here this morning, Steve Olin, who joined us about 2 years ago. he has added a dimension in voice to our quartet that we've not had before.
The silent one. What does that mean, Steve? You've added a whole new dimension.
Oh, these guys like to talk, and I just stand out of the way and let them go ahead.
I'm sitting in the corner there, a whole new dimension. What is that? Vocally, you mean?
Vocally, he's got a tenor voice that's just. We were very fortunate to find him, and we've been very pleased with his contributions to the quartet, not only in vocally but musically too. He's very talented.
And were you recruited then, Steve, or did you just fall into it, or what happened?
Well, I work with this guy sitting next to me. He's my boss, and he came to my wedding, and I sang a song at my own wedding, and he heard me sing there, and when they were in need of a lead singer, he came to me at work and said, "How would you like to stop by quartet practice and sing a few numbers with us, and we'll see if you enjoy singing with us, if we like you."
Hard to turn down your boss.
Yeah, it really is. When you said, either don't show up.
Well, now, does this mean you guys don't make your living from music?
No.
You make your living other places.
Right.
So, how much time do you give to music during the course of any week?
Oh my,
Not enough.
no,
Not near enough. Usually there's an evening for practice, and then we try to, any evening we're singing, we try to take time prior to the concert just to prepare and, tune up and that type of thing. But it's not near enough time, or not near the time we would like to devote to it.
Would you hope that someday you could make a living on music? Would that be a goal, or do you like it better the way it is now?
Well, I'd love full time. That'd be tremendous. But right now, that doesn't seem to be in the picture.
Yeah, that's a goal I know we all have, but that's a hard thing to...
Mm-hmm. Well, there's some, of course, who make the case, though, that if you don't, you keep things a little straighter and a little clearer than if you do. That you, when you've got a job somewhere else, and when you're attached to something else in the community or to whatever it is, then sometimes your understanding of what performing is and who you are as a musical group, it doesn't get clouded by this push to make money, and you can feel freer to do things than you would ordinarily feel. I mean, that may be a rationale or a cop-out for people who really want to make it more profitable, but I think it's a case to be made for that.
The one thing we've noticed, staying small, I guess, as you would say, or whatever, keeping it, on a part-time, we're gone usually 2 weekends a month traveling, is that it does keep our perspective in line. We pretty much try to do in other churches what the reason was that we started singing in our own church, to add something to the music program of the church, and that was originally one of the plans for our church, and we still try to meet that, and we sing in a lot of small churches around the country, and by doing that, we have a much, I think, more personal ministry with the people in the churches, and we've had a chance to meet some very talented musicians. Two people that come to mind quickly. Ken Thomas, for instance, an amazing musician who does our arranging, produced our second album here for us. He does we sing with background tracks, and he produces all of our own tracks for us, plays most of the instruments, if not all of them, on a lot of our songs, and has taken material that we have gotten. We don't look towards the big, the Bill Gaither Quartet and things like Trio and things like that. We have found local musicians. And on this album that we've got, this new one out, we met a man a couple of years ago, a dear Christian man that lives down in San Jose, that has been writing gospel music for years. He's written like 1,500 gospel songs. And he heard about us and got in touch with us and sent us some of his music. His name's Herb Kallman. 3 of his songs are on this album that have just, as they say, blessed the socks off of us, and we are fortunate to be able to share these songs with the community. And we keep our ministry on a personal level, and I think you're right. You keep that local viewpoint of ministering not to these big 1,000-member churches, but to the small, let's see, Coalinga. We traveled to Coalinga and sang to 16 retired people. That's probably the farthest and the smallest we've ever done.
Big time.
Yeah, but...
important.
Those are just as important as singing at Stern Grove last summer,
There were a couple of sentences that caught my eye in an article in the Pink section from last Sunday's paper about Amy Grant. who's one of the big, I mean, she's 22 apparently, and some call her now the country's leading female gospel singer. 6 albums, a whole lot of money. She's rolling. And she says here, I'm not out to make people stop snorting coke or to stop sleeping with their girlfriend or boyfriend. I'm not out to make anybody stop doing anything. What you're doing might be great, and you might think it's just wonderful, but how sad if you go through life and never know what's really the best. That's intriguing to me. That the life, and she uses earlier on the phrase life-changing here, in a way. But she says that apparently her explanation of that is not necessarily to make people do this or that, but through the music, to be introduced to something. I guess that's the way I'd say what she says here. Would you agree with that, or would you go a step further?
I would agree with what she's saying. I don't think that we're out to tell somebody the do's and the don'ts, or you can't set up a list of rules to live by as far as Christianity is concerned. The main focal point is to introduce them to something better, and that being the person of Christ. And we feel that the avenue that we are allotted has been music, and we are allotted through the words of the music and through the opportunity to share really what Christ has done in our lives, that we are able to relate this better life to the people who we come in contact with.
Now, how do you feel about this phenomenon? There are people I know who like the feeling that goes along with gospel singing, the harmonies, the straightforwardness of it, the uplift, the echoing parts, and the crazy things that basses do or that high tenors do every now and then. Those kinds of things. Couldn't care less about the content. But like the music and kind of get involved in it. And they could be atheists or agnostics or cynics or angry or whoever they are. And so they get involved in that music or listen to it or get attracted to it for reasons other than the life-changing message of it or what the impact it's going to have on them. And they still like it. One other way of saying this is that sometimes I participate around in folk music circles. Around the Bay Area, there's a network of folk music clubs. And every now and then there's an outing, a camp out of some kind, and invariably on Sunday mornings there'll be these wonderful sings in which gospel music is sung. And sometimes it's old spirituals, and sometimes it's white gospel, as they say, hill country gospel from the South and all of that, these fantastic songs. Well, you look around the room at these people who are singing these songs and think, boy, you know that when it comes to confessing faith, professing belief, folks are pretty far away from the specifics of what they're singing about. Any comments on that phenomenon? Because there are probably some folks listening to this who feel the same way. Great music, I like, it's uplifting, it's got a catchy beat, it's interesting stuff, but, all that Christian stuff, I can leave all that stuff alone.
I feel like it's planting a seed. I think if they're singing the words or they're hearing the words, maybe they'll come to a crisis point in their life or something when they do need those words. When they will need Christ as a little more of a personal, maybe a savior to them.
So even if they don't accept it now, it's still there somewhere.
Yeah, I think so.
The seed's been planted.
I think very much it can be,
whether it be
considered sowing the seed.
Right. Got to start somewhere.
You guys are subversive then, in those ways, huh? In the best sense, yeah? Creatively subversive. I don't care if you believe this stuff now, just sing along.
No.
No, not really.
No, I mean,
we want people to enjoy the music.
Yeah.
And for those people that have seen us in concert around the Bay Area, and, well, I guess now from Seattle to San Diego, Arizona, last May, we very much enjoy and are into what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And we want the people that come and hear us, we want them to come and hear what the Lord has done in our lives. And we testify about that in our music. And we want people to enjoy it. And if they just want to come and hear Mitchell sing towards the end of the piano, that's great. Come and hear Mitchell. Mm-hmm. We can't believe what he does. So
well, I've heard it, at least tried to. The human ear can't pick it up. So you feel it all over.
You feel it.
You can't hear it.
No.
Below there.
The dogs let you know, though.
Okay, well, let's listen to a bit of this.
Okay.
So you guys got something you want to do here too? Live? In person?
Hopefully not.
No. You just want to let the record speak for it.
Oh, you
All
bet.
right. Well, let's listen to one cut off the record that we've referred to. This is the Westmen singing, "I Went to an Old Camp Meeting with the Devil." That's a cut called "I Went to an Old Camp Meeting with the Devil," the Westmen, on a record that's kind of red on the front. It's got these smiling faces looking at you. The title of it is just "The Westmen."
That's it.
Right.
Took us a lot of thought to come up with that.
I was going to say, you guys really worked on your title.
Really did, yeah.
The Westmen. In just a minute here, I want to give you an address where you can get a hold of these guys for whatever reason. You want to get a hold of them. And they've got a couple of appearances coming up. Also, here's some phone numbers for you. If you want to call in, if you've seen the Westmen somewhere or would like to, well, we'll give you those dates coming up. But if you have any questions, gospel music, why they do what they do, maybe a couple of things we've said this morning have piqued your curiosity or excited you or driven you nuts or whatever, here's some phone numbers for you. In San Francisco, 441-TALK. In the East Bay, 832-TALK. South Bay, 269. North Bay, 454. Contra Costa, 938. San Mateo, 342-TALK. The Westmen are here, a gospel quartet. I'm Tom Hunter. It's 7:52 on KGO.
The memories we most treasure.
We have returned with the Westmen on KGO on a Sunday morning. We're just talking off the air about the phenomenon of gospel quartets in general, and you said they don't really go here.
Well, they're not as prevalent here on the West Coast.
Why not?
I don't know. When people find out, well, quartet music started, gospel quartet started 1900, somewhere back in that area, 1910.
Before that, even.
Yeah, a lot before that, but what I'm remembering specifically is the Stamps Baxter Publishing Company, when very well known in a lot of musical circles, gospel musical circles, when they would publish songbooks for churches and for groups. and they would want to get their music known to the churches and the communities. They would put a quartet together and send them out, known as the Stamps-Baxter Quartets. And they would go around from town to town and sing songs from their songbooks to sell these Christian songbooks. And these songbooks began to sell, and then people began to realize, gee, I enjoyed that quartet. And there was still, J.D. Sumner is the owner and manager of the Stamps Quartet. There is still a Stamps Quartet around, and back east, every Friday, and ask Jim Eason one day, every Friday and Saturday night there's all-day singings in the summer, and they're just very prevalent in the South and Midwest and East.
Isn't there, though, what some people would call kind of a subculture, a bunch of people who, around these parts, too, who would agree with you that kind of thing goes on every now and then around here? Maybe not as much, but...
Oh, there is.
It still happens.
And you'll find that the people involved in that subculture are all transplants from West Virginia or Tennessee. Or
one of the things about it, too, that always gets me, in listening to the cut we just listened to, and also this participating in the folk spirituals and all that, it's a very participatory kind of music. You know, a lot of it is not very complex. And so that you guys have to work out your parts and get your harmonies together and all that. But anybody who can sing can often pick up a tune pretty quickly, and can sometimes even harmonize if they have a simple sense of harmony, because the chords are so regular, and you can spiff it up by this or that seventh or this or that augmented demented eighth or whatever it is. But in the midst of it, you still got this basic music structure that is very involving, very participatory, and that may be one of the reasons for its popularity in some circles as well. Before I forget it here, because I'm apt to, let me give you all an address for these guys. This address will get you more information, and also will get you information about the album as well. Is this album available out and around in Enlightened stores everywhere, or what? Yeah?
A few, but it would have to really be Enlightened. Yeah, it is in a few gospel bookstores around, but the best way to get a hold of it is write to us straight.
Okay.
Direct.
Here's the address. Just say The Westmen, Post Office Box 3295, P.O. Box 3295, San Mateo, California 94403. 94403. What are you guys doing coming up? You have anything in the works?
About Steve. We're going to be at Steve's church this evening. So.
Yeah, we're going to be at Peninsula Christian Center in Redwood City this evening. We'll probably do about a half an hour worth of music in the service tonight. So that's the concert coming up the soonest.
He's leaving out the fact that he's directing his church choir tonight also in the music program. I can't.
No wonder you guys are included.
Yeah, he drug us along to...
No, he's the boss, you see, for tonight. You guys can't say no this time.
We'd be lost without him.
Anything else? You got that tonight?
That's tonight. A couple
TV
of
coming up.
Couple of TV.
TV?
How about that?
Yeah. Radio this morning? Boy, you guys are...
Big time.
What TV?
We've been over there once in May, and we've been asked to come back for a 30-minute program. If you're over in the valley, you'll get this. Sacramento, Placerville people have called and told us they've seen us. A program called The 11th Hour. It's out of Modesto. We're going to be over there, August 22nd. It's on a Monday. We're going to be doing a 30-minute program over there. And again, we'll be back in September. I think it's around the 12th. It's again a Monday.
We got somebody who wants to talk to you here. Let's see what's going on. Line 8 in the South Bay. Good morning. Tom Hunter with the Westmen on KGO.
Yeah, hi, this is Sue, and I just called up to say hello to the Westmen. I got their newsletter the other day that said they were going to be on KGO today, and asked if people would call up and say hi, and I just want to tell them I think they're doing even better than they were when I heard them last.
When did you hear them?
I don't know the exact date, but I know it was at Trinity Baptist Church in Sunnyvale.
Oh, sure. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Well, I'm glad you called. We want to find out more information. You got a newsletter, too. I'm glad you called with that. Thanks.
Yeah,
newsletter.
If people want to get on we send out a quarterly newsletter telling people what we do and where we're going to be, and generally the experiences, what's been happening to us over the past quarter. Write to us at the P.O. Box, and we'll make sure they're put on our mailing list and be in touch with when our albums come out and our appearances and what's going to be happening.
Okay, and that's at the same address?
Right.
P.O. Box 3295, San Mateo, California.
That's it.
94403. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Our pleasure.
I'm glad we did this.
Thank you.
Let me know if you get bags and bags of mail, will you?
All right.
Sure.
Okay. I'd be interested to hear.
You would too.